Jack Benny was a comedian, and his show was about him and his life in Beverly Hills, and he puts on a show. And that's so part of the show was his show with an audience, and part of it was preparing for the show in Beverly Hills. So, and he would have a guest. He had Marilyn Monroe, and so he and Marilyn Monroe comes for tea or something with his wife,
Right.
and then they do the show where Marilyn's on the show. So that was the template for it, and it was the Brady Bunch do a television show. They have a variety show, and they open it with the swimming number at their home, and then they go in. But there was always a backstory about what they did on the show, around the show. There was a
it was
through
like
line.
show within a show. It would be like, what are we going to do? Like, we haven't prepared enough. Like, it was very like, we didn't know we were doing the show today.
Well, no, kind of.
Happening.
I mean, they knew because they would show up in the opening number in spangly Pete Menefee costumes.
The costumes are great.
Yeah, they're great. They're
Beautiful. I hate to jump around, but we have so much to cover.
Go for it.
I texted Kathy Griffin and I was like, I know you know Bruce. I was like, what should I talk to him about? And she said, well, you got to ask about the squares.
Well, she was on the Squares.
I knew she was on Squares with you. And is that where you maybe met her for the first time?
No, I think I'd met her before then, but I don't actually remember where I first met. I think I met her with Brooke Shields when she was doing the sitcom.
Oh,
Suddenly Susan. Yeah, I think I met her there.
Yeah.
I wasn't working on it, but I was there for something. I think Brooke was doing the American Comedy Awards or something like that.
You were auditioning for the new Brooke.
I was auditioning.
Yeah.
And Kathy was there, and I met Kathy. I think that's where I actually met her. But
do you got any wild like Hollywood Square stories? Obviously, right?
It's bizarre because I was a head writer, and I always say I was a square. I was to the left of Whoopi, if that's possible.
Right.
But it was a very efficient organization, and the fun of it was the 9 people showing up and doing 5 shows on a Saturday and 5 shows on a Sunday. So we only worked 36 days a year because we would do a week in a day.
Oh my God!
Now we were
live
writing
to tape.
all the yeah. So we tried to keep it as close to the air date as possible, so it was topical.
Yeah.
But basically the people were on good behavior most of the time,
Right?
Because if you weren't, there were like 8 other people going, girl.
Yeah.
Girl. I mean, Roseanne was in a foul mood. And so she kind of...
I think she still is.
Well, she's one of her 43, people. And I've worked with her, and I keep saying, I would say to her, would you please ask number 16 to start talking to number 32? Because we're not getting any work done.
Right.
But I mean, she's her own case study. I love her.
She's on a journey.
She's her own case study. She's, now she's a crazy Trumper, and
yeah.
I mean, I still love her, but
what other kind is there?
Exactly. There you go. That's why I can still stand.
Can I ask like a logistic thing? So the way Hollywood Squares is like, I mean, we have maybe a lot of young viewers who maybe have never seen it. It's set up like a grid.
It's a tic-tac-toe board.
Yeah, and so you guys really couldn't. I mean, you couldn't see each other under a top.
No, we couldn't see each other once we were in our squares. But there were monitors that facing us so that we could see big, like teleprompter monitors, but so that we could see what was happening. We could see what the shot was.
Right. Oh, right.
And so we could see what other people were up to and all that as it went to that.
Must have been fun.
And once there was cross talking, they would be going back and forth, and that was, of course, my favorite moment when I guess the YouTube thing that gets a lot of comment is "you fool," which was a woman was she needed 1 square to get the win, and she could not get the right answer, and it started with Gilbert Gottfried, who when she didn't agree with him, said, "You fool," and it went on like that. Penn and Teller were on there, and it became it took this woman like about 6 times, and finally she won the thing. So
thank God.
And it's a very funny clip on YouTube watching, because everybody kind of begins to lose it because it's so insane. It's like things you never expected would happen.
Do you think Squares would ever come back?
It is coming back.
It is?
It's coming back in January on CBS with Drew Barrymore in the center square, and Nate Burleson, who, if you don't know, if you watch CBS Mornings with Gayle King, he's the black guy. Tony DeCoppel's the white guy, and Nate Burleson's the black guy.
Are you going to go back?
I don't think so.
Be a guest
Not
at
so,
least.
so far. I'd love to, but no one's called.
This is an official casting call.
That's right. If you're watching, I'm happy to go back.
Sometimes I think it's gauche, but sometimes then when I'm on something, I'll just ask to be on something, and then sometimes it does work out.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be one of those primetime hours, probably after like two FBI shows on CBS, like 10 o'clock on a Wednesday. But so it'll only be once a week, like Alec Baldwin doing Match Game and Name That Tune with Jane Krasinski. So it's Jane Krasinski. I think I've made Krakowski. I just made a child of her and Emily Blunt.
Yep.
It's Jane Krasinski.
You have an enemy now.
That's right. Jane Krakowski. Sorry.
Can I ask, if I get to do it and you don't, I will wear like a Bruce wig and glasses in honorarium.
Well, okay.